Good news, everyone! Knights of Guinevere has been greenlit. It has. It's been greenlit. It's been greenlit for not necessarily a huge surprise. All things considered, not necessarily a huge surprise because, well, that that pilot episode did pretty damn good, and I suspect the merchandise has been doing pretty damn well for Glitch as well. And why would you get Dana Terrace to set up a whole 2D pipeline for an independent production like that, do all of that logistical work if you weren't planning on some level? I think it would have had to flop really, really badly in order not to get greenlit. At least I hope so. I hope Glitch would have the good sense that even if the pilot episode didn't do as good as, I don't know, fucking the latest episode of Digital Circus or whatever, I hope that they would have the good sense to still be like, yeah, we're gonna give it a season. Like we're gonna give it one season to find its feet and kind of get going, because this thing clearly, like, there's some legs to walk on here. But it has been greenlit, and they've posted a little teaser as well. Like, not just like a little video saying announced, but a little thing with this little bit of some actual animation and stuff in it. And I haven't seen it through yet. I've seen like this much of it, and the moment I saw this, I kind of knew that I have to use this as an opportunity to talk about something. So when you think of Powerpuff Girls, when you think of Dexter's Lab, when you think of that style of like early 2000s, late 90s style of cartoon, SpongeBob SquarePants falls under this to a lesser extent as well. When you think of that like very flat, highly stylized, Craig McCracken, Gendy Takarovsky, Samurai Jack, all of these things, that style, broadly speaking, is known as the UPA revival style, right? Because it is a revival of a lot of the sensibilities of the house style of an animation studio called United Production Artists, something along those lines, I think, which is a studio that was formed in the 1940s by animators who were leaving Disney, in part because as animators, as artists, they were a little bit frustrated working under the Disney house style, which was very restrictive and very specific. Like, the Disney house style was like a very specific approach to art, and often a very sort of, often backwards looking. Like, certainly the artists at the time felt that it was rather conservative, right? Like, whereas in like the 20s, 30s, 40s, like this period with the flourishing of modern art, with the expressions of so many different styles of art, like artistic expression that Disney wasn't really taking advantage of. It was working much more in a sort of fantasy watercolor style a lot of the time. And so UPA and the artists who founded it and began expressing it, they began making inroads into very modern artistic sensibilities, very modern productions of what a cartoon can look like. And even if you don't know what the UPA style is in your head, because you don't remember, like you've never seen it maybe necessarily, you've seen UPA art styles before. I'm gonna grab a screenshot here from Animation Obsessive. This is the UPA art style, right? Like, or the art style that became associated with UPA. It is this highly graphic, very often very hyper-flattened, very expressive line work, very stylized, very caricatured a lot of the time. This is what we call the UPA style, right? Like, it's this stuff. And you've seen this around before, right? And it became extremely influential. Disney began sort of also playing with it at various points. It's incredibly influential. Even like my little cartoon avatar here, maybe not the 3D model so much, but like the 2D avatar of him that I've made for like the logos for my channels and shit like that. That is influenced by the UPA style. That's influenced by that extreme hyper flatness style. And you can see that influence also, like, you look at Jaden Animations, you look at Odd Ones Out here on YouTube, like that style of animation has filtered in, like, through influences like 90s, 2000s cartoons, Dexter's Lab and all that, has filtered into like the YouTube animation scene as well. But when I saw this logo opening this thing, I was like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing, because this is the UPA logo as it appears in many of their productions. And that is like, oh, that seems a little similar. And then when I saw, like, because at first I thought it was just going to be like an announcement video with a little voiceover or whatever, but then I saw this, and I was like, oh shit, we're actually doing a UPA thing. So let's just hear it out and listen and watch it do. But I just wanted to give you that context ahead of time, that this thing is doing something very specific.
to get to Park Planet?
Can you tell me how to get?
Anyone know how to get to Park Planet? I do. Just follow along this magic song. Don't be down.
Yes.
Don't be blue.
Yes.
There's a wonderful
Yes.
world right here waiting for you.
Yes.
We'll sing,
Blood.
we'll smile, and we'll
Gore.
do it in a brand
Horror.
and an elegant style. It isn't so far.
Yes.
Reach for a star, grab hold of the light, shine through the night. It won't be long. We'll see you on Park Planet.
Yes.
That's right. See you there.
Can't wait for the return of Park Planet.
Oh.
Park Planet
Oh,
to you
no.
now with some amazing
Oh, no.
trinkets and gizmos straight
Oh, no.
from galaxies,
Oh, no.
such as the new
Oh,
Knights
no.
of Guinevere pilot art book.
Oh,
featuring
no.
tons of exclusive concept art of
Yeah, no, I don't care. Take my credit card. Have all my money. I don't care. I need this. I need this. Oh my god, I need this. Is that her head? Oh, that's her head and her brain. Oh, cool. Oh, I need that. I need. Ooh, I need that. 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 The pins and stuff. That's fine. Like I'm not that much. I need that. I need that art book. Okay, that's once I'm done with this. That's what I'm doing. Okay, cause anyway. So, hallmarks of the UPA style, right? Like, this is not 100% the way that UPA would probably have done it. Because the thing about UPA, we talk about the UPA style, right? Like, air quotes, as though it's like a unified, coherent thing. And it's kind of not, because part of the point of what UPA was doing was they had like this house style, this like flat, very modern art-inspired art style that they played around a lot with, but they played around a lot within that, taking inspiration from all kinds of modern art movements, right? Especially the ones that were coming up in the 50s and 60s. So there wasn't really a UPA style as much as there was like an aesthetic wave of UPA innovation in animation that sort of formed the basis for what came to be known as the UPA style. And this feels a little bit more like it's more along the lines of like Madeline, Mr. Magoo, a little bit in the way that it's expressed. But there's also these modern innovations. Like another thing about the UPA style, by the way, the Disney house style of animation is the one that we sort of refer to as classic animation a lot of the time, right? Like the principles of animation, like these theories about how to handle volume and how to handle like expression and motion and movement that Disney came up with in the early 40s and like through the production especially of the first theatrical feature, like that Disney house style. UPA set out to do something different and set out to liberate their animation style from a lot of those animation principles, right? Like to go, okay, instead of focusing on having this realistic weight and movement and like study of motion, what if we do something that's more expressive? So characters don't necessarily move in ways that are anatomically realistic, but they move in ways that are expressively realistic, right? Like in a way that like a character's motion is not necessarily anatomical, but it reflects a reality of how they move. So we hyper distort them, for example, which we see in here, for example, right? Where characters are like hyper distorted and their motions, like they're sort of fly swatted, right? They're very flat, but it's expressive of how the characters are supposed to be feeling in this moment, which is something that Disney also, again, adopted and learned to use and like took on as an influence, but which UPA was part of the innovation of that in animation. The interesting thing here is we're definitely doing the UPA thing, but this little trick, the smearing, like these rapid smears, that to me feels more modern than what UPA would have been doing at the time. This, and I haven't watched the UPA cartoons in a long time, but this to me feels something like that's a little bit more out of the playbook of post-anime influence, right? Like there's certain things about the way that it's animated here. Like there's definitely some Peanuts in here, right? Like those cartoons. There's definitely a bunch of sort of children's cartoons of that period, but there's also elements of how this is animated that I would identify as this reminds me a lot more of 80s Japanese cartoons, right? The way that this bear, like this animation smear here, the way that this bear is rendered, this has a little bit more of that classic 80s anime vibe to it in some respects. And obviously, you wouldn't get most UPA cartoons with this level of gore. Ah, yes. But this is fun and exciting to me. Like the literacy that's being shown here. It's sort of the same thing I feel about Amazing Digital Circus sometimes. It's like Digital Circus is playing with a specific aesthetic of, you know, like late 90s edutainment software for like the early multimedia PCs, right? It's playing with that specific aesthetic of very early 3D animation, and it's very clever and literate in the history of that animation style, right? Like I've talked about like the way that they incorporate the Utah teapot as part of the aesthetic of Digital Circus, and like these little nods and pokes and winks at the history of early computer 3D animation. I'm quite excited just by the in order to understand the UPA style and know what it is and use it as a reference, like it shows a certain literacy of the history of animation that just makes me happy, right? Because that's necessary for something like Knights of Guinevere, is because Knights of Guinevere is about Disney in many ways, right? Like it's about this era of animation. It's about these like these art styles and the ways that they competed and shaped the landscape of animation. So I'm just excited to see like this clear use of UPA style as a little aesthetic flourish to build out a little bit of the world building for how Knights of Guinevere handles, you know, the history of animation. And also, of course, as a contrast. I do love that the little thing on Frankie's head becomes an exclamation point when she gets scared. And you can see these little flourishes of like the animation cell moving even if the character isn't animating. The little stylizations, right? Like of allowing a ponytail to be disconnected from Andy's head, but still part of like the symbol of her character design, which like, yeah. And like the watercolors. The other thing I noticed, like you forget to talk about, you see how dirty the colors look? Like, you see how, like, it's supposed to be sort of a consistent off-white, but it gets real yellowed and kind of dirty looking out here, right? Like, and if you look at the bleed of color that happens around the lines of these things, it's essentially emulating the look of a not great film transfer, right? Like, of a not great transfer of the original animation cells, and not great, like a sort of low resolution, which again is the sort of thing that like probably wouldn't have looked like that on the production cells that would have been used for a UPA cartoon at the time, but it would have looked like that on television, probably in a fourth. It would have looked like that, like in lower resolution commercial transfers of it that sort of have degraded over time, and I do appreciate that a lot. Also, what an adorable. Look at the bounciness of this. Boing. And the way they sort of kick themselves up into the air.
Anyone know how to get to Park Planet?
Right? Like that little double kick as they sort of double jump their way up. Highly stylized cloud and stars. Poof. And here comes Guinevere. With an expression that's like cheerful, but the lack of teeth and like the sort of slight manicness to it, right?
Follow along this magic song.
The sound design as well. That's another thing. Like this conceit of pulling the page corner. This playing with the format of the thing is something like Looney Tunes also adopted a bunch of influence from the UPA style. You see a lot of Tom and Jerry cartoons of the 60s that are very influenced by the UPA style. but this like meta conceit of the character pulling on the page. I remember there's it's a Daffy Duck short, I think, specifically, where he's essentially, the conceit of the short is that Daffy's having an argument with the animator, and Daffy wants to like go at a cool story or like have something fun happen to him, and the animator keeps fucking with him by painting him into weird scenes or erasing his beak and things like that. This sort of reminds me of that little playing around with just like undoing the fabric of reality. The way Frankie and Andy are scrambling to get away. It's like, oh god, the world is collapsing. Ah! And now we get to the teaser bits. So that, the classic thing with like the eye just shaking, that's fear, right? That's fear or shock or horror. And here we have like the filigree along this sort of dream space. This feels like a dream or something happening in someone's imagination. Like this is Frankie perhaps imagining what Guinevere will be once she has been restored. And here's a dose of reality. Oh, that's a lot of blood. That's a lovely amount of blood. Good. And the little, like, it starts falling, dripping down, and then there's this, like this burst of it. Nope. There's a very dirty joke about vampire sex in that, but I'm not gonna. But like with the blood around the mouth specifically, this is, again, consumption eating. I do wonder if, because we have our fucked up Guinevere bot, right? Like the original Guinevere bot, probably the one who escaped from Park Planet. There's more than one Guinevere bot, right? So maybe one of the Guinevere bots is gonna play the role of a villain? Seems possible to me. But the implication here is consumption, right? Like, the implication here is that this Guinevere has been eating of the blue-blooded robots, right? Like the other animatronics. Which is the kind of body horror that I would greatly appreciate. Hello, Orville. Orville as... And again, we're here clearly in Frankie's imagination space, right? Like, we can see the star field, we can see the way that the world is rendered simply by lines, and the little ghost plushies of Frankie's that she sees anyway. And then Orville here with these tiny little pinprick. Oh, she's gonna be haunted by that man. That's gonna be fun. He wasn't expecting that either. Interestingly, this shot seems to imply that the black void here is like a prosthetic eye. Maybe like that there's like a black eyeball in there or something that can be stained rather than... Interesting, because I thought that it would be a void. I thought it would be like a hollow. Yeah, fuck him up, Andy! Whatever it is you're punching. Whatever you're punching is definitely spraying blood on you, so that's good. Again, dream space, right? Like, we have this psychedelic background, so I wonder about, like, the extent to which we're going to be in the psychology of the characters. Dreams, imagination. If this is some sort of memory that Andy is having, dealing with some kind of trauma. The Disney Gestapo, yeah. About to get fucking wrecked, I hope. I said it in my reaction to the pilot, but I need just one scene in the season of Guinevere Bot getting to do some real fucking Bloodborne shit. Oh dear. Okay, well, guess I'm gonna get my wish, but Frankie might be the victim. Oh no. Interesting framing here. Because this is Guinevere apparently about to whack Frankie over the head with a ladle, of all things. So again, and with the filigree and the soft sort of glow lighting and the background, this feels again like some dream space stuff. But again, this question of like whether maybe I could imagine like the way that this is framed, it doesn't feel like this is about to lead to explicit horror necessarily. This might be like a dream that Frankie is having, and someone's like, "Wake up, Frankie!" And like they have to slap her across the face to wake her up, and they'll do a cross cut from this to Frankie getting slapped across the face and snapping out of it, kind of thing. But I do wonder if not there'll be a villainous Guinevere bot in here. So that's Arthur, having been dismembered by Guinevere in the lab. But I don't know that originally his guts were sprayed quite that far forward, so one wonders if maybe there's been some change in him in the aftermath of his destruction. Like, I wonder if this is going to be directly after they've gone to the laboratory, they've repaired the Guinevere bot to the best of their ability. Now they're about to leave, and they come across the carcass. Then there's this, which rather feels like that's a drug. Like, being in a little vial, being handed over like that. The vibe here, is like, this is some kind of narcotic or something. Ooh. Oh, okay, so that... Yeah, I'm correct. This is a dream space. The background here matches the background here. So this is the same dream that Frankie is having, and Frankie's having that dream because that thing is plugged into the back of her neck. So she's being like Matrix. She's being matrixed here into this dream space. And you can see it also matches the sort of line work background thing of the bit we saw here, right? Like the lines on the star field and all that. Yeah, and this, presumably, Frankie's being taken into a fantasy here, right? And we talked about this as a part of Frankie's characterization. Ooh, very nice background. That Frankie suffers from delusions, suffers from hallucinations. Well, suffers. She has them, anyway. They are a part of how she goes through life, right? Like, she has these hallucinations, these delusions that sort of follow her. And it's going to be interesting the extent to which, like, Park Planet and the fantasies that they sell feed into Frankie's delusion, right? Like, Frankie has this delusion of, like, if I can fix the Guinevere bot, then I can work at the Magic Kingdom, essentially, and I can work at the Dream Factory that creates all my dreams, and then I can live in my, like, so you could read it in the sense of she wants to go to a place where she can live in her hallucinations, right? Like, she can live in this dream space rather than deal with her reality, because the dream space is better, right? Like, which is a thing we sort of see in the aesthetic of how her hallucinations are deployed in the pilot, is that when she's in a hallucinatory space, colors become pastel and soft and nice, and things just become nicer and more enjoyable, and the world just is a little bit softer and prettier than the actual brutal reality that she lives in. So I wonder the extent to which it'll be problematized in the way that these fantasy, like that Park Planet will actively, as part of their role as villains, will actively feed Frankie's delusions, will actively feed into her hallucinations, and try and drive her deeper and deeper into this dissociated space as a means of controlling her. And this is like essentially a seduction, right? You could live in this fantasy world if you wanted to. But then on the other hand, we have here Guinevere reaching out, grabbing the background and pulling it away. And I don't think in the actual show that the thing that's going to be revealed when she does this is the Knights of Guinevere logo. I think it'll probably be something a little bit more nasty. But I'm curious about that. Like, exploring Frankie's hallucinations, Frankie's dissociation from reality, and like the extent to which that can be a good or like that can be something helpful, empowering for a person, something that can get you through the dark times, versus the extent to which it can be used as a means of control, right? This teaser to me seems to be pointing in that direction. Ah, the brutality, the gore. Guinevere's eyes seeing Guinevere and then bursting. Mm-hmm.
That's right! See you
I wonder the extent, like, how much are they going to be dismembered over the course of the season, by the way? Like Andy's already had her arm pretty badly shattered. I wonder the extent to which they'll actually be losing limbs. They could. And again, it's a little thing. I don't know how much to take from it, but we have this Guinevere fairy who's responsible for the two of them getting absolutely fucking smacked to pieces. And then we have fucked up Guinevere bot. Our hero Guinevere bot that we rescued coming in, indicating that these are two different characters, which again, I feel like that supports the idea that a Guinevere bot might be a villain in the show, but that's, you know, that's, oh my god, I want it. That's maybe, I want it. That's maybe reading too much into it. Who knows? That is a very nice necklace, I will say. Oh, I love this shit. Yes, we have the notes. We have the notes on like the shape language and the design language of like how is Frankie put together, right? Simplified shirt with shirt stripe, form with shirt striations, drop details, bigger snare, shape, drop eye highlight, yeah, smooth down form, cylinders flatten out, right? Like she's extremely wide. Simplified shapes like stockiness, stout, thick, right? You can see these levels of abstraction, right? Like as we go down in level of detail, right? As we render Frankie at different levels of fidelity, there's this guide to how do you stylize her, how do you simplify her. Oh, it's so good. Emphasis on fabric wrinkles and close-up. More of a cylindrical something, can't close-ups something. Oh, I need this book. I need this book. I need it. I need it. I need it. I need it. She's worked with Sparky her whole life, and more importantly, his gang, and knows how to command attention from people a lot scarier than her, with her confident body language, talks with her hands a lot. But when she's with her Frankbots or Gwen, she adopts a more delicate princess-like gesture. Both are natural to her, two sides of the same coin. Yes! Give it to me! I want to see this fucking season. Learn how to fight from Sparky. She knows how to box and more than a few dirty tricks to take down bigger opponents, but she's tiny, so as soon as she's picked up, she's useless. Yeah. Oh, air jail! Yes! And I love how fucking tall the Gwynbot is relative to her here. That's wonderful. Yeah, fuck him up, Frankie. When upset, she becomes stiff and robotic in movement. Important story note. Physically cannot cry. So never show tears. Physically cannot cry. Oh, well, oh boy, that. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. The two of them on this like butcher table with the Gwen. Oh, that's nipples. Well, there goes the monetization on this video. That's a naked Gwenbot with, okay, so, yep. Not that I mind. This fucking design sensibility is so fucking, yeah. Like, the little stars here and all that shit. Like, there's so much UPA in there, but it's definitely also, like, the house style of fucking Disney and, like, the planning stages of Epcot. Like, there's so much Epcot in here. Like, this swooping sort of mid-century modern design language shit. Like, oh. I need it. I'm gonna go buy it now. Goodbye.